Joining me now, Ilyasa Shabazz, a community organizer and an adjunct professor at John Jay College of Criminal Justice. She is the daughter of the late Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz. Ilyasa, thank you for joining me. I wanted to get your perspective on this because your father was fighting what he believed to be systemic racism and violence by the police, and that was many years ago, and yet what we are seeing in the last 12 days is a response to criticism of the police with exactly the thing that people were criticizing them for, violence.
That's right. It was in the 1950s that my father came along and he said, young people were demonstrating, marching, protesting for quality life, quality education, health care, all of the things entitled a human being, and they wanted them for their family. And my father came along and he said, your brother, we demand our human rights ordained by God. We've been miseducated, misinformed, and I think it's important to put all of these historical events into proper context, especially if we want to solve these problems. These are issues and concerns that he raised 50 years ago, and we see 50 years later, they're still here. And so we have to come together, sit at the table, and address these challenges head on.
So you are a professor at the John Jay.
You understand that? Yes,
sorry to interrupt.
Yes,
we have a delay on the line, but you're a professor at where you educate people in law enforcement. What is there a problem in the education? Is there a problem in the execution? Is it unions or is it just racism?
Well, listen, it's a human problem, right? It's not an issue of black and white, but the capacity to recognize right from wrong. And so it says that we have to educate. Our laws, policies, and practice have to be redone. We have to educate people who have been misinformed, who have been miseducated. Young people are discovering the truths. They are no longer going to sit back and watch these injustices continue. We have 50 states that participated. We all sat back and we saw this horrific death of one man. But these deaths are happening right now, and they continue to happen. And so people have to be held accountable. Young people are discovering the truths of these criminal systemic challenges that confront all human beings, not just in America, not just black and white. But, we have to have the capacity to recognize right from wrong and join in with our young people and change these laws, policies, and practices that were created once the people who are in power conquered the indigenous people here and created this horrible system that has to be done over. And that's what all of these protests are about. When we say Black Lives Matter, we acknowledge we have the capacity to recognize right from wrong.
Yesterday I spoke with the mother of Philando Castile, who was killed by a police officer just outside of Minneapolis, and she was saying that if they were not able to get justice in that case, she would understand why the manifestation of some people's protest is violent. Your father had a complex relationship with the role of violence in protest. What are your thoughts on it?
Well, listen, my father said, if you throw a bomb in my home, I am going to not sit down and watch the bomb and the fire take the home and my family. I'm going to get my family, take them to safety, and try and put the fire out. And so I agree with my father that, listen, all of these horrific things are happening. We have to come together and figure it out. He said, if you put a knife in my back 12 inches and you pull it out 10, the knife is still in my back. So we have to come together and address these issues and not allow ourselves to make a little bit of progress, then be undermined by a broken system and find ourselves in the same place where we are 50 years from now. And I'm telling you, young people are not going to just sit back and watch these things happen. They said they are not their ancestors. The seeds have harvested, they're here, and we want change. And it seems only right. Toni Morrison said something like, she spent her entire life dispelling the myth that blacks were not scientifically inferior until finally at the end of her life, she realized that she was not able to focus on the joys of being human, the love, the passions, her purpose in life. And so, you know, at some point, we have to just buckle down and accept the fact that this antiquated system is not going to work, and that these officers have to be retrained, re-educated, as well as our children. That our Black history, for example, Indigenous history, all the world's history should be incorporated in our educational curriculum throughout the year. And if we want to celebrate Blacks or Latinas or gays or whatever, that we can celebrate it. But first and foremost, that our educational curriculum has to be inclusive of historical fact. And that is the foundation of thriving civilizations by people of color. And, you know, what is the harm of that? That they were astronomers, that they were architects, that they were priests and scholars. Let's tell the truth. Let our children have self-respect. Let other children have the opportunity to learn truths, especially here in America, where we're so blessed and fortunate to have a melting pot of the various nations of the world. Let us do something about that.
Ilyasah Shabazz, thank you for your passion and your time and the work that you do. Ilyasah Shabazz is the daughter of Malcolm X. She is an author and she's a professor at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice. Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to thank for your good work that you're doing. I watch you all the time, and I really appreciate that you were there in the streets and that you were recording, you know, what was actually happening with the non-violent protesters, and that there were other people coming on. So we really appreciate you so much. So thank you. And thank you for having me on your show.
We will continue our commitment to do so. Thank you, Ilyasah Shabazz.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC.
The 10 days of awe, and all that he would see is mercy. A future reflection of the Messiah, that his mercy, what he had done, would cover for all of mankind. And so they had a great fear of the Creator, that when he left the judgment seat for 10 days, that they must repent, pray, fast, and not feast. And in that, they would discover a humility and a true fear that he has done this for their benefit, left the throne of judgment, the 10 days of awe and mercy. This is a great example of how the Father works through the sons of Abraham altogether. And now we will proceed to the greatest point of all, the fact that the clans are lined up like the tribes. And in a future time we will see this as an example of what was said to Job. It was said, he asked Job the question, where were you when I created the Nazareth? Asking Job this question is a rhetorical question, knowing that Job would not answer, knowing the future, that he would be silent. The question to Job, he would not ask Job about something pagan. So the Creator planned this. Before there was a tribe of Israel, Job was questioned by the Creator in a way that reveals the mind of the Creator, and that he allowed the tribes to be assembled together in the same order as the constellations, so that they line up, proving his plan all along. And now we can see on the just seven of them, just as if the other 5 were gone. We're just doing this briefly to get an understanding. And that they enter in from the east, Judah, from the east. Levi, we'll see the connection between the long hair and Levi. Dan in the north, later, as they went into battle, he would be in the south to defend. We'll touch on that later. Naphtali, the northwest, also where the Deer clan lived here in America, in the northwest of where they centered and got together. Reuben in the west. And these two are somewhat go together because it is like this in constellations, not a complete circle. So the west and the south have take up a lot of room. And there's reasons for that. The gospel going forward with Joseph. And all these standards are very similar to the Deer clan, the Bird clan, and Reuben, Paint, Joseph, Wild Potato, and Benjamin the Wolf, right in the same order, houses of Israel. So here we see another example here with the colors involved. We'll put the colors in there so that you can see that even in that, the stones of each tribe resemble the flags of the clans.
Legends of the Katua people say that the name was given after 7 of the wisest men of the ancient Cherokees went to the highest peak and fasted for 7 days and nights, asking the Creator for guidance. This peak is known today as Clingman's Dome.
Katua Mound, located near what is present-day Bryson City.
Legend of the highest peak and fasted for 7 days and nights, asking the Creator for guidance. This peak is known today as Clingman's Dome. On the 7th night of their fast, the Creator told them, "You shall be Katua."
Katua Mound, located near what is present-day Bryson City, North Carolina, is understood as the mother town and the place where the Creator gave the laws and first fire to the people. The Eastern Band Cultural Office reports this place wasn't just a town. This was the mother town, the place where the Cherokee began.
The Katua people originally lived in the southeastern part of the United States, on lands forming present-day Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, and South Carolina. Archaeologists say that Katua Cherokee families began migrating to a new home in Arkansas by the late 1790s.
In 1808, a delegation of Cherokees from the upper and lower towns of Cherokee Nation went to Washington, D.C. to inform the president not all Cherokee people wanted to pursue what was deemed a civilized life. The delegation requested that the president divide the upper towns whose people wanted to establish a regular government from the lower towns who wanted to continue living traditionally. On January 9, 1809, President Jefferson allowed the lower towns to send an exploring party to find suitable lands on the Arkansas and White Rivers. 7 of the most trusted men explored locations both in what is now western Arkansas and also northeastern Oklahoma. The people of the lower towns desired to remove across the Mississippi to this area onto vacant lands within the United States so that they might continue the traditional Katua way of life.
In 1817, the United States ceded these lands to Katua people, also known as Western Cherokee and later as Old Settlers, in exchange for a portion of the Cherokee lands they had occupied and were entitled to in the East. As many as 4,000 to 7,000 Kituah old settlers came. The Treaty of 1817 with the United States exchanged lands back east for lands in Arkansas. This gained the Kituah a definite title to a territory, what is called today a land base.
The Arkansas Cherokee requested the U.S. recognize the Eastern and Western Cherokee as two separate and distinct nations.
Further, the Treaty of 1817 stipulated that the treaties heretofore between the Cherokee Nation and the United States are to continue in full force, with both parties of the nation and both parts thereof entitled to all the immunities and privileges which the old nation enjoyed under the aforesaid treaties.
Unlike the old Cherokee Nation, the Western Cherokee Kituah readily accepted Sequoyah's Cherokee syllabary in 1822. Then Chief Dakadoka was opposed to the introduction of the mission schools and greatly influenced the acceptance of a way to write the Kituah people's own language.
By 1828, the Kituah people entered into a treaty with the United States to move onto lands further west. This treaty granted the Western Cherokees land running along the Arkansas, Canadian, and Grand Rivers. They were also given a perpetual outlet west as far as the sovereignty of the United States extended. By the Treaty of 1828, the Kituah moved to Indian Territory in Oklahoma 10 years prior to the forced removal of the Cherokee Nation.
Between 1828 and 1839, the capital was established east of Chief Jolly's home, about 2 miles up the Illinois from its mouth on the Arkansas. The council house, grounds, and home of this first chief made up the national capital called Tolentesi to honor the chief's brother, the former chief. The General Council met here for 11 years.
In 1833, Old Settler, or Western Cherokee Kituah, met with the Muskogee Creek Nation at Cantonment Gibson to settle boundary disputes and precisely establish the boundaries of the new territory. Creeks who had been removed from the east in 1826 to 27 had found themselves living within the newly established Cherokee lands and were required to move again. The treaty fixed the boundaries for what would become known as the Cherokee Nation of Indian Territory after the Trail of Tears in 1839. The Old Settlers enjoyed only a few years of peace before being joined by the treaty party and ultimately by the Eastern Cherokee, marking the beginning of the Cherokee Civil War.
After the influx of the Eastern Cherokee from the Trail of Tears, the Easterners greatly outnumbered the Western full-bloods and tensions began to mount. The Eastern newcomers wanted their form of government to replace the government which was already in place. The Western Cherokee, of course, objected to such displacement of their own powers and was also against the provisions of the Treaty of New Echota.
Both the Western Cherokees and the Eastern Cherokees objected to the Treaty of New Echota, stating that the signers had not been authorized.
However, the Western Cherokees sent 2 delegates, James Rogers and John Smith, to make sure the provisions in the treaty were clear about the position Cherokee Nation would have when arriving in Western Cherokee territory. The provision in the treaty, signed by the 2 Kituah, assured Cherokee Nation of a friendly disposition of their people and their desire that the nation should be united again as one people. But this uniting was meant to be with the Cherokee Nation joining the Western Cherokee government. The provision assured them a hearty welcome and an equal participation with them in all the benefits and privileges of the Cherokee Country West. The provision concluded with, "But it is expressly understood that nothing in this treaty shall affect any claims of the Western Cherokee on the United States."
The Western Cherokees gave welcome to their friends and family without complaint. They said there was room enough for all.
All right, guys, I just let y'all listen to Malcolm X's daughter's speech and a little bit of the Hebrew Cherokee history for some of the tongues of others. Well explained. I really don't have to say too much. For those who have an understanding, let them understand. Alright, so I'm not going to be too long. I told you I was going to do the chapter every day. I hope that y'all want to look at the intro video so far of Unfolding of Proverbs, Calling of the Wise Virgins, and watched part 1-1, where I did the whole chapter 1. Now I am starting on 1-2, chapter 2. I'm just going to get right into it. I don't really have to say any more with my tongue. I'm not doing anything of rebuke or correction as far as other tongues. So right now I just wanted to flow along. I thank you for tuning in to this recorded session. Hope you hear wisdom. I hope you seek understanding. And I hope you enjoy the words being spoken from our Holy Scriptures. Some call the Bible, but I would say the Holy Spirit diary. Big, black, gigantic black book diary, right? Women, you know, like how we used to have diaries, reading, writing. Majority, or maybe some, a few, may still actually have diaries and write and read and love literature or poetry, which I always loved it. I love poetry. I like poems. I like all different type of things like that. But for so long, I haven't tuned into my feminine side of myself, so I never really got the chance in a long time to be able to even write. And I really have a problem with that anyway until I can learn my holy language and to the Most High, restore my language and restore all my understanding, all my wisdom to me little by little each day. I'm too much not concerned in writing any too much depth of English knowledge and their language and you know, really publishing anything in their system. So, but I am learning a lot, and I'm just thankful to be able to give in the truth of why I had so much problems in this tongue. Why this language was just so very hard for me, and why it was hard to communicate my full wisdom and understanding to others who purposely chose to misunderstood me, because at the end of the day, we were still supposed to love our neighbor as ourselves. So, it's up to you how you want to choose to react and respond according to the word. So at the end of the day, it was all about being patient, and be patient with the children, because they're not in their native tongues. They're not in their languages. They have to learn, have to grow. The Most High said he was going to restore that. So don't take it offensive, brothers and sisters, if it's just hard for you to communicate, because some of y'all do have y'all indoctrinated in your English language, so you may be able to articulate better of their words, their languages and everything. But all in all, the truth is, for my nation of people, this is not our original tongue. We are going to have certain problems, but what we can understand is y'all language, understanding the coding, understanding what it means, especially if we got a normal circular education. I made it all the way to some college. I passed high school, have a certificate in that, and I did some college for 2 years, working on an associate's degree. However, life, some circumstances, and like I said, being awakened made me turn around and go toward the Most High and make me, I chose to live in my purpose according to world wisdom and anything I've been taught, and just got tired of living for something contrary to what the spirit I was born with. So I chose to fully pick up my cross and bear it and say, hey, I'm done with it, and live in my purpose of who I am, since it was a problem anyway. And the world did not understand me. They misunderstood me. Then maybe you'll understand me when I'm in my full purpose, according to the word, according to what was given to me, and according to the Holy Spirit that brought me into all truths, all understanding. And I'm here to share it with everyone in the assembly. So for those who want to listen, for those who's called, hey, that's all I'm concerned with. But I'm not going to force anybody. At this moment, I will not be sending out any more emails on my pictographs or talking or for as, you know, asking them to watch from this point on. I've already came to about 7 on my list so far now, so they know about my channel. I've asked to subscribe, so I'm not gonna spend my time of going every week to these people and sending through emails each and every last one of my lessons, because I did say you can ask and it shall be given, right? But that was just a start off to say, hey, I'm here, because I started it in August of 2020, just a few months ago. So basically giving the introductions that I'm here now. This is my platform and this is where I'll be at. So you have to be wise to be waiting at the gates to see whatever I post or whatever I do. If you don't, then hey, they'll miss out on some good understanding and wisdom. But for those who's already gone on the other pathway, they're going to fall into their own destructions of knowledge and for gain off these YouTube platforms, flattering with their tongues with the word, not even speaking sound wisdom and sound instructions or sound understanding for the people, to when they come into the knowledge to know what is already truth, what is incorrect, what is symbolized, what is plagiarized, given the way fully. I've seen only very few and only 2 counts so far, no 3, that I can say kind of just sound doctrine or sound wisdom of seeing what is accurate, what is not accurate. Now, if you choose to listen to everything they say, that's on you. But like I say, I'm here to give the whole complete pathway. All right. So at the end of the day, it may correspond with your pastor. It may correspond with the religion you're following. It may correspond with some of the knowledge you know already in your head. But all in all, I hope to call all the Christians, the Muslims, the Buddhists, the Hindu, the astronomers, the atheists, the non-believing, the immoral, the lesbians, the homosexuals, anything of all that can exist of entitlements in the world. I'm calling you all to listen, to understand, and to seek wisdom, and no instructions, and take heed. All right. So I'm at 26 minutes now. I hope to not get over an hour in this one, because I'm only doing chapter 2. Do a chapter at a time, and then under my video description will be the coding of construct, of what that chapter was about, giving you a little bit more insight. But let's get right into it. But first, I'm going to start off with Ecclesiastes, reading a few chapters of that before I get in chapter 2 of Proverbs. So we're going to be at Ecclesiastes 26, and I'm in the Apocrypha. Okay, King James Version. It says, "Blessed is the man that hath a virtuous wife, for the number of his days shall be double. A virtuous woman rejoices her husband, and he shall fulfill the years of his life in peace. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High." Now I'm going to stop here, because virtuous is not a Hebrew word. That is a English word. Mainly, I'm just going to say it's a more righteous woman. Okay, let's just leave it at that context. A more righteous woman. All right. Virtuous is more scientific and it's more English language depiction, but it's okay. It got a good title, good positive definition behind it. But let's just say it's a moral, righteous woman. And righteous doesn't mean perfect. You know what I'm saying? If you've been following me and listening and having an understanding, and you've been reading through the pictographs and through the video descriptions, and please read this one under this video, and you'll understand that just a more righteous woman, not perfect but complete in substance and obedient to the word in all things. A good wife is a good portion, which shall be given in the portion of them that fear the Most High. Whether a man be rich or poor, if he have a good heart toward the Most High, he shall at all times rejoice with a cheerful contentance. There be 3 things that my heart feared, and for the 4th I was sore afraid: the slander of a city, the gathering together of unruly multitude, and a false accusation. All these are worse than death. But a grief of heart and sorrow is a woman that is jealous over another woman, and a scourge of the tongue which communicated with all. An evil wife is a yoke shaken to and fro. He that has hold of her is as though he held a scorpion. Alright, that was that verse 6. I just read Ecclesiastes 26, Apocalypse 1 through 7. Now, this is kind of self-explanatory if you have understanding, but if you want me to give a little lower to make it simplicity for the simple ones, whether a man be poor or rich, you can be blessed with a moral, righteous up woman, okay? She says, call on me and I will answer. Ask me, seek me, I shall give you, right? Okay? And these things, 3 things, my heart feared. So the author is basically saying these are 3 things that are sore to my spiritual, sore to my soul. See, the world has definitely made people look so much as the physical aspect of hurting, seeing a person crying, or physical of your touch, your eyes seeing, to the point where we have overlooked the core being of a person. Emotional death and life is in the tongue. When you say bad things, hurtful things, false accusing, bearing false witness, those things hurt a person's soul. It's not just you're doing something physical to them. This is spiritual warfare. So that's why death and life is in the tongue. Okay, it grieves your heart when someone do you wrong, right? Is that love? Is that love making false accusations or bearing false witness? No, that hurts a person's character. Not their reputation, because reputation is what people assume of them, of lies or whatever you see that person is. But their character is what the Most High look at, who they actually are. Especially He created us, so it's already self-connected with Him far as that wise. He knows us all, our character. So, but character is only molded by the Most High wisdom, okay? Morality. So, is that right to do that to someone? You go saying false accusations of a woman that say she did this, she said she did that, and it's a lie. You have thrown out her character to be something that she not. That's hurtful, because guess what? You have simple ones, you have naive, you have fools in the world that will go off of that and believe that. So at the end of the day, is it her fault? Her character got destroyed, or someone could not see the difference or differentiation, so they decided to persecute. That is incorrect behavior. So as the scripture said in Deuteronomy, you have to have 2 or 3 witnesses. And it also tells you in wisdom, do not accuse her servants before her in the Most High God. They're one. Okay? You can't do that. So I'm just explaining in, I guess, a simple form of tongue of what it's meaning. But if you fear the Lord, you wouldn't have to worry about a wicked woman. You wouldn't have to worry about these things coming about you. The depths of a woman is so deep. Even I myself can't even explain all the differentiation that lies inside our genetic code. And neither do I want to. And neither will I give that if I had that or come about that. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not for me to do. It's for me to instruct. Okay? So I'm just laying that out there for y'all guys. Is that just think about that. Because that's hurtful. A person lose friends, lose material things. I've lost a lot of things because of a false accusation. Men and women alike have lost a lot of things in this world for people of wicked sources devise mischiefs against their brother or their sister. This is true. I'm personally living a counter myself, but that's okay. I'm not here to go back in the past. I'm here to make my future be bright. And the only way I can move ahead on a lot of things is that judgment come. And that all shall receive their reward for what the persecution they done. Not only to me, I'm a flesh, I'm a spirit in this being too. And I had a life and I've lived a life. But at the end of the day, for my brothers and sisters of morally righteousness have been persecuted as well. We are assembly, and we are a body, and we are scattered all over the world. All right. And so he also say an unruly multitude. Now you got like what? A birds of the flutter flock together, right? On the negative aspect. Now you got the head of Jezebel group and the little Jezebels following. A magnitude to destroy this woman character, right? Or this man character. A multitude of unruly. And all these things are worse than death. It's right. I always said to myself, I said, I know if I do die, I know what it'll be by. I know. And like I said, for spiritually, I've already been there. Spiritually. But here's the thing. The renewing of the spirit. When you receive the baptism of the Holy Spirit, it saves you. It brings you back. It revives you. So yes, hurtful words, lies, assumptions, not treating me like I'm a sister, not giving me the love I deserve, only in my life to use me, to hurt me, and then to cover up your things you done, you go lying, you go spreading, so you can have everybody on your side looking like, okay, she's crazy, she did this, using any little small thing you can use. I never sat here and said I was perfect, only righteous. And if you understand righteousness, it's not perfect, it's complete. It's standing on a moral code, despite anything of opposite when it comes to their more of who their being is. You know. So, and those of spirit shall see those of spirit. Only spiritual people can understand spiritual things. So at the end of the day, that's mainly giving you little small examples. Now I'm going to just go back to verse 8. Let's finish it. A drunken woman and a gladder abroad causes great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Watch over an imprudent eye, and marvel not if she trespasses against thee. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he has found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. By every hedge will she sit down and open her quiver against every arrow. The grace of a woman delighted her husband, and her discretion would fatten his bones. A silent and loving woman is a gift of the Most High, and there is nothing so much worth as a mind well instructed. A shamefaced and faithful woman is a double grace, and her continent mind cannot be valued. As the sun when it arises in the high heaven, so is the beauty of a good wife in the ordering of her house. As the clear light is upon the holy candlestick, so is the beauty of the face in ripe age. As the golden pillars are upon the sockets of silver, so are the fair feet with a constant heart. My son, keep the flower of thy age sound, and keep not thy strength to strangers. When thou hast gotten a fruitful possession through all the field, sow it with thy own seed, trusting in the goodness of thy stock. So thy race which thou leavest shall be multitude, having the confidence of their good descent. So now she's telling the sons of men, be careful where you're planting your seed in your soil, right? Do not give your strength to strangers. Do not marry outside of your nation. Marry your nation a woman. Plant your seed in good soil, right? So that your children, the race, which thou leavest, shall be multiplied. Multiplied. Okay? Magnified. I think that's what it means. Magnified. Alright? Now, I know a lot of brothers think that their wives are just, I have some that think that their wives is the most beautiful thing on earth, or they are sent for the Most High. Just like we have some sisters believe that Her husbands are just sent from the Most High God. Okay. Well, the pairing of the foolish virgins and the wise virgins will happen. The sword will divide. But here's the point. Unity and love shall stand. Okay? So, at the end of the day, if you are dealing with what you're dealing with, surely is a reason for your decisions, right? Surely was a reason for your decisions and why you did. A lot of people got married according to the law of land for what a person had, what they could afford for them, what they could do for them. But that's marriage covenant or the law of land is not before the blood covenant from the beginning. So this is why the scriptures say things like that, and people thinking that the Most High God is contradicting himself, or that ain't right. He told us to have a spouse. He told us to get married. So yes, you're right. But what you don't understand, marriage is always and always will be more than a certificate of ownership, and it also more than just the wedding. It will always be more than the material value of the custom or the ceremony. It is a deeper complex in spirit form that was before that constructed the worldview and how we see ceremonies of a man and a woman coming together. Okay? So it was always with the Most High. Bloodline, heritage, ceremony. Okay? Yes, you'll get those things, and you should get those things. But however, the most important things was the spiritual love and connection of being equally yoked for his personality, for his mind, and for his soul. That is before anything else. So a lot of y'all are unequally yoked. A lot of y'all are not on the same page, which is okay. You did honor the marriage covenant. You did get, do what you're supposed to do, but there will be a divide. There will be more of a deeper complex from the beginning coming to the earth, and it's gonna split man and woman of, I would say, not like sources to like sources, and it's just gotta be like that. Why? Because judgment had to happen. It's already been written. Nobody can stop it. A lot of us thought we would, I mean, it's deep, but at the end of the day, the Most High already told y'all that the evil is going to be taken by their own devices, their own way. Like I said, a lot of these women, black women, married all these men of high statues that had this and had that of the world, but when it comes to all this stuff being taken, nigga can't, excuse my language, can't survive with you. He can't do nothing to help you. Don't know no knowledge about getting where you need to get to, and for spiritual wise, and you just dead soul, and you're gonna be going along with this world agenda behind him. That's on you. That's on you. You chose that. You didn't want to struggle with a man. You didn't want to go find one that maybe got a like understanding of you, but or you did see that one, but you overlooked it because of the money, the material value. You know that a man's supposed to do that, but here's the deal. We still have a role too as a helpmate. So when do it still be right for you to just overskip the process and choose what you want to choose just to have an easier life that you seen, that you felt like was easier to you because you felt like that's what a man's supposed to just only give you and only do, and you were fine with it because you didn't have to do nothing outside of that. Live an easy, smooth life of being taken care of. Just like vice versa of a man with a woman. You just easily went to go find someone that can do stuff for you. Left the one you could struggle with or did have the mind to help you build, but you left that one to go with what? These older women, or maybe another woman of status that had a body going on, had a boobies, plastic surgery, big booty and all that, and had her nice car, had a nice house, and you just stepped aside the one that really did care and love you, had the same mind and understanding and soul, understood you, but y'all were looking at the material value. You were looking at a ceremony. You were looking at a ring. You were looking at being everything to please this harlot. Alright? Or this woman, you did everything you can do to look to attract a man to be over him, just to say that you are better because of your beauty and your status, and you got a nice house, and that girl ain't got nothing. That independence kind of stereotype the white man gave you to make you so haughty. Alright, that's cool. And you left your poor one that you could struggle with, that had the mind of understanding too, get you both somewhere. A teamwork effort. See, he didn't make it easy for neither side. So if it been that easy for you, know that you on the wrong path. You possibly, I ain't gonna say he still blesses with wealth or a little status. That ain't got nothing to do with what I'm saying, that you shouldn't be striving for something. You shouldn't want to be comfortable. You shouldn't want, I'm not saying that, but it is a way that we all have to go by, so we won't be off on the wrong path. It's a balance that we have to look in life, in a way that we go, so we won't be tipping the scales, or we won't be far off on that side. So, and that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here to instruct you guys on, so you can understand the pathway more clear. But for those already made those choices, they would eat the fruit thereof. They would not understand this. Neither would they even see me. They will never even probably know my channel is here by the time it's all over with. And I'm just being honest. So I have to say that. And because I'm here. I want the salvation, just like any other Israelite or any other sisters and brothers that's been persecuted for all these false things of people breaking the commandments, and you choose to stand on them. So know that you're not alone. I ain't even got to see nobody to know I'm not alone, because even if it was just me, I'm still gonna be me right here saying I'm not alone. I would never be alone, because God is with me, right? Alright, so we're going to go to leaving off of verse 22. I'm going to start verse 23. A wicked woman is given as a portion to a wicked man, but a godly woman is given to him that fear the Most High. A dishonest woman condemns shame, but a dishonest woman condemns shame, but an honest woman will reverse her husband. A shameless woman shall be counted as a dog, but she that is shamefaced will fear the Most High. A woman that honored her husband shall be judged wise of all, but she that dishonored him in her pride shall be counted ungodly of all. A loud crying woman and a scorned shall be sought out to drive away the enemies. There be two things that grieve my heart, and the third making me angry: a man of war that suffer poverty, and men of understanding that are not set by, and one that returneth from righteousness to sin. The Most High prepares such an one for the sword. Woo! That was strong, wasn't it? A merchant shall hardly keep himself from doing wrong, and a hustler shall not be freed from sin. That was the whole chapter of 26 in the Apocalypse of Ecclesiastes. Now, I'm going to read the chapters 27, the whole version, and then I'm going to start with my unfolding of Proverbs. But I wanted to set the straight with the Apocalypse Ecclesiastes for those that don't know the rest of Ecclesiastes and where it's at. And some more great wisdom you can add to the biblical text. Chapter 27, I'm sorry. Many have sinned for a small matter, and he that seeketh for abundance will turn his eyes away. As a nail sticketh fast between the joinings of the stone, so doth sin stick close between buying and selling. Unless a man hold himself diligently in the fear of the Most High, his house shall soon be overthrown. As when one sitteth with a said, the refuse remaineth, so the filth of man in his talk. The furnace proveth the potter's vessels, so the trial of a man is in his reasoning. The fruit declareth if the tree have been dressed. So is the utterness of a conceit in the heart of man. Praise no man before thou hearest him speak, for this is the trial of men. If thou followest righteousness, thou shalt obtain her, and put her on, as a glorious long robe. The birds will resort unto their like, so will truth return unto them that practice in her. As the lion lieth in wait for the prey, so sin for them that work iniquity. The discourse of a godly man is always with wisdom, but a fool changes as the moon. If thou be amongst the indiscreet, observe the time, but be continually among men of understanding. The discourse of fools is irksome, and their sport is in the wantonness of sin. The talk of him that sweareth much make the hair stand upright, and their brows make one stop his ears. The strike of the pride is bloodshedding, and their revilings are grievous to the ear. Whoso discovers secrets lose his credit, and shall never find friend to his mind. Love thy friend and be faithful unto him, but if thou betrayest his secrets, follow no more after him. For as a man has destroyed his enemy, so hast thou lost the love of thy neighbor. As one that letteth a bird go out of his hand, so hast thou let thy neighbor go, and shalt not get him again. Follow after him no more, for he is too far off. He is as a roe escaped out of the snare. As for a wound, it may be bounded up, and after reviling, there may be reconciliation. I would say reconciliation. But he that betrays secrets is without hope. He that winketh with the eyes worketh evil, and he that knoweth him will depart from him. When thou art present, he will speak sweetly, and will admire thy words. But at the last, he will wrath his mouth, and slander thy sayings. I have hated many things, but nothing like him, for the Most High will hate him. Oh, this is what she's saying in men, that she has discerned and seen some of the things that men do to each other, some of the things she's heard, and the betrayers that has happened. But didn't the Messiah already went forth before the wisdom and talks about the parable of the betrayers and what's going to happen? So I don't have to go in depth in that, because y'all understand the truth words of what he was saying through there. And she's just elaborating on the more depth in what he doesn't like, the Father, on certain things are abomination. It is, really anger him about. Like I said, it's gonna always go back to love thy neighbor as yourself. Okay. I have hated many things, but nothing like him. She's very angry because she knows all the wisdom and understanding of the Father and Brother Yeshua, and the Holy Spirit reveals through the three parts of the Trinity. They all agree on the same thing, but she's very wroth and angry as well. For the Most High will hate him. Whoso casted a stone on a high casted it on his own head, and a deceitful stroke shall make wounds. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall therein, and he that setteth a trap shall be taken therein. He that worketh mischief, it shall fall upon him, and he shall not know whence it cometh. Mockery and reproach are from the proud, but vengeance as a lion shall lie in wait for them. They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous shall be taken in the snare, and anguish shall consume them before they die. Malice and wrath, even these are abomination, and the sinful man shall have them both. They that rejoice at the fall of the righteous. Haven't we been down from centuries and centuries? People mocking us of our poverty, of our pain. Still to this day, as this truth rising and going across the world, you still seeing them mock us, talk about us, say we this, we that, laughing at the righteous, what they got on, how they talk, saying all types of filthy and angry stuff. But it says that they rejoice at the fall of the righteousness. So when we fall, when we stumble, when we have a hard time one day, or we're going through some things, you know, because we're not perfect. Righteousness don't mean perfect. Again, go look at my channel, get the understanding. Doesn't mean perfect. But when we do things of, you know, maybe we still are smokers. Maybe we still are eating something unclean. Not saying I do these things, but I'm saying the ones that are just coming in, or maybe have a process that they haven't completed yet, because it's levels to this. Everybody's on a different level, but long as you on a pathway, on that one pathway, and they're moving to it, they're fine. Long as they're moving to it. Who's to say if they're going to backslide or actually get to that divine fullness of complete? You are there to encourage them to keep going. You are there to pick them up, to tell them, you know, where they are. Hey, let's get it right. You're just there as just a constant of hope, inspiration, and love as they keep journeying to level themselves up to the fullness and completely of themselves. So at the same time, you as yourself is growing in this truth or getting to a levels. You'll never get to the point where you just stop learning, you stop understanding. No, this is a constant thing we're going to do forever. The kingdom is forever. And he already said that you got a man that could have been in this, or a woman in this 15 or 10 years that can lose their spot. He's already did that through the parables truth. So I don't have to go into all that, because he's already explained it doesn't matter when a person come in. The fact is, if they come in, if they have went through the process and they're going and they have received the spirit and they're working on it, they are just as well in the body if it was just yesterday or today than I am been in 3 years or you 10 years. It's no difference to what timing. The whole message is for the Father don't want anyone of his children to be lost and not. So, of course, but we as a body and assembly have to encourage and inspire each other to keep trying to keep on moving to our upper selves, our higher selves, keep progressing, going through the process. And it's levels to the process of growth, all right, especially spiritually. So, but some people will see you, like I said, do something or get up something, probably in the past now or whatever, and now, you know, like I said, persecuting you again, thinking that you're, you know, but that's okay, because though it tells you a righteous man gonna fall 70 times. The problem is to keep going. I mean, the difference is the righteous will keep going. You fall, you get back up in the race, you keep going. No matter what, you never seal your fate and be comfortable in any sin you do. You always get back up, you always repent, you continue to walk, because the spirit is in you. You're going to finish. That's why it says at the end of Revelation, her children already have the spirit. They're going to finish. We have already won. It's not played out fully in reality yet, but it will. We have already won. Why? Because that spirit is what's going to help us finish the race. It's going to help us get to the end. That's why the baptism of water and fire was needed. So you can get that extra boost inside. You can be able to attain some of these fleshly urges that you have, and you will be able to keep going. All right. So I'm just leaving that in there. I just finished chapter 26 and 27 in Ecclesiastes, the apocryphal lips. So now I'm going to make the way for my discussion for my video. My daughter right here, she was acting up. I'll let her be right here. But it's just important for you not to persecute the righteous. Like I said, we all in the body, we're all growing, we on different levels, but the point is long as we are on the pathway, long as those ones on the pathway have repented and are doing the works of the Most High, in spirit and in truth. Let's say that, in spirit and truth, the works. Because people will look outside of your life or in your life and value your worth with material objects that you have or your phases. But no, when it talks about the bride, when it talks about the children, their works are in spirit. Their works have been their life testimony, their journeys, and everything they had to go through to keep going. Shouldn't they be rewarded? Yes. Because you know how much temptation, how much things they could have got involved or chose to continue to do. See, it's easy to do the wrong. It's easy to do the wicked. You don't have a standard that you can go by. They don't have morality or standards. So it's easy to be a harlot. It's easy to be a prostitute. It's easy to be a whore. It's easy to go get your money or go sell your body and go get $2,000. It's easy to use your beauty to get where you need to get through in life. That's easy. But what's hard is using your mind and spirit, right? Because when you show that, you're going to be attacked. Once you get on this road, you're going to be attacked, especially if you got all of it. And you got the spirit and the mind. Now, your power is in your wisdom, not your body, not your sexual organs. It's in your wisdom. It's in the Holy Spirit. So at the end of the day, it's like, okay, how far is going to get you though? How far it's going to get? Because beauty is vain. You're going to get old. You're going to get wrinkles. You're going to get wore out if, you know, because it's a physical thing too. You can't get physical diseases. You can't get physical tears. You can't get your organs inside your temple messed up. There's a lot of things that can happen on that pathway to that. But at the end of the day, what is going to benefit you at the end of the day? Where are you going to see yourself? Usually those women don't see themselves nowhere. Usually things happen a lot. And you're not going to get to the kingdom too like that. So yeah, you can get your world here on earth. You can get your big mansion. You can get your nice luxury shoes, your nice fashion, your nice hair. You can get all that in this world. But know that that's your end. And know what your end is going to be. But some of them have decided to get theirs now. Just like some of the men have made statements through their sons, through their tongues. I'm going to get mine now. All right, well, get yours now in Satan's kingdom. So don't get mad when the righteous get exhorted and get the fruits of their works for being spirited, choosing not to go those ways, suffering, not having nothing, in poverty. Don't get mad when the Most High exhort them and now it's their time to judge the world and be over the world and get the fruits thereof, get their riches, get their blessings, because they went through the straight way, they went the right way. Like he said, all these things shall be added unto you if you put me first. So then you want to run back to those brothers then, right? When the ones that was funding you, harlots, whores, prostitutes, strippers, the ones that's funding you don't got no money no more, because look what's going on in the world. They're falling. The men of the world are falling. Material they're falling. I'm talking about these big billionaires. They got many and many of women just because of the money. Then where y'all gonna run to? Oh, you gonna run back to the sons of men that get their riches now and get their things with their wives, or the Most High's out them? Now you're gonna run to them and be like, okay, I need a husband now. I want to. No. You got your fruit through the world. While these women was suffering, keeping themselves in spirit, didn't take the easy way out, went to go work in the system, the slave, you know, but it still was right. It still was right. It was still work. They didn't have to do that. So now, you know, you want to take the little left that the Most High want to give them. Is it right for to give you when you spent 10 or 20 years or 30 years of your life for the fruits of the world, and now you want to take it from the little poor little girl that didn't get all that, didn't get no wedding, didn't get no ring, didn't get no always had to go to work and do something for herself, or she didn't have friends, she didn't have family, she didn't really too much have nothing in this world of help like that. You know what I'm saying? Now you want to take what's hers, you want to take her kingdom away. It's rightfully hers because she did the work. She did the work. She battled. She fought. She kept her spirit. She kept her morale. She kept something that of value that the world or the women in the group told her it didn't matter. They wanted her to change her whole makeup. Girl, you need to get some weed. You need to get some eyelashes. We need to go get these big ballers. You know how y'all talk. But you're going to have that one woman or a few like, no, I'm not with that. I don't like that. Then they'll start calling her a tomboy. Her screen is too much. She must be a dyke or she must be a little. She ain't right. Why she got to be all that? Why can't she just simply be a morality type of petite, righteous type of woman? Just her. Just whatever the Most High created her to be. That's just what she is. Why can't she just be simply wisdom? Why does she have to be world wisdom? Why does she have to go through them paths for her to still be wisdom? No, she's wisdom, and her wisdom go before world wisdom. Remember, the oppressors gave you all that of your style, your fashion, your doctrine, your way. So I ain't gonna get to preaching on y'all. I ain't trying to. I had to elaborate on it because I see those type of attitudes, mindsets, and spirits in the world, and I'm just here as a woman in the color in the skin. I just have to say that because you can't do that. And men that's looking in the world to try to see wisdom, you're not gonna get the wisdom of the spirit of God in the world. It's not going to happen. I don't care how old she is, young or old woman. It's not in the world, okay? This woman's particularly is going to be this way. It's not something you can pretend. It's not something that you can turn off. This is who she is, all right? So at the end of the day, it's like y'all want the woman to be in the world, and then you also want a little bit of spirit. Oh, I need you to be. No. It's only two types. That's it. That's the balance. Already Most High set it up. It's only two types. Alright, two ways. And then within them two ways, it's a lot of differentiation. It's a lot of differentiations, a lot of difference, and a lot of things you'll have to see. So you'll know, the understanding, or you'll have the understanding to know. So I just really wanted to make that clear to y'all. So y'all can really, really understand that that's important. That the spirit is important. It really is. But usually 9 times 10, them women didn't get choose. I'm sure men done ran across them. Some of them, sons of men, did not listen. Some of the daughters of men did not listen. We have ran across some people in our life that, like I said, could have been the one, or is the one, or the Most High may move you back to that one. Who knows how this gonna go? But know that, like brother said on my first part 1, just know the marriage of the soul is different from the marriage of the world. Okay, it's two different things, and you can't mix the two. That's never was supposed to happen. But however, our mother Eve, through flesh, we all got here through sin, basically. So yeah, I already got all that. I don't have to go into that. Alright, so the wise virgins, like I said, spirited, moral, righteous women, sound wisdom, sound discretion. This is Unfolding of Proverbs, the calling of the wise virgin. Part 1, Chapter 2. Benefits of seeking wisdom. Now first, I'm going to read the 1989 Nelson Edition King James Version Bible that I have sample of Chapter 2. And then I'm going to read the one that is much clearer translation with the construct knowledge decoded. So let me start with the King James Version Bible, which just has seek wisdom. Wisdom cried without, she uttered her voice in the streets. She cried in the chief place of concourse, in the opening of the gates. In the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. Turn you at my reproach. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. Because I have called, and ye refuse. I have stretched out my hands, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproach. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not hear. I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For that they hated knowledge, and did not choose the fear of the Most High. They would none of my counsel, they despised all my reproof. Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way, and be filled with their own devices. For the turning away of the simple shall slay them, and the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. But whoso hearken unto me shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from the fear of evil. Proverbs. Oh, that was still one. I'm sorry. That was seek wisdom, but I guess in my translation version it got it more coded on all sides, and it is too in theirs, but then this Bible is still part 1. So I'm gonna go ahead and start on chapter 2 in the King James version. My son, if thou wouldst receive my words, and hide my commandments with thee, so that thou incline thy ear unto wisdom, and apply thy heart to understanding. Yea, if thou criest after knowledge, and liftest up thy voice for understanding, if thou seekest her as silver, and searchest for her as for hidden treasures, then shalt thou understand the fear of the Most High, and find the knowledge of God. For the Most High giveth wisdom, out of his mouth cometh knowledge and understanding. He layeth up sound wisdom for the righteous. He is a buckler to them that walk uprightly. He keepeth the paths of judgment, and preserveth the way of his saints. Then shalt thou understand righteousness, and judgment, and equity, yea, every good path. When wisdom enter into thy heart, and knowledge is pleasant unto thy soul, discretion shall preserve thee, understanding shall keep thee, to deliver thee from the way of the evil man, and from the man that speaketh forward things, who leave the paths of uprightness, to walk in the ways of darkness, who rejoice to do evil, and delighted in the forwardness of the wicked, whose ways are crooked, and they are forward in their paths, to deliver thee from the strange woman, even from the stranger which flatten with her words, which forsaketh the God of her youth, which is God, Guide, wisdom, woman, form, guide. This word we teach because we are wisdom. Mother wisdom is the high, the Holy Spirit with the Father, his wife. This was for us. Okay, contrary to the oppressors, they made it about the young men, the mother giving it to the young men. But no, this is mother wisdom given to the children. Boys, girls, children. Body, assembly. Now, I'm putting it back in the context. So, now, the ones that's walking in the form need the book more than the one that is not. The girls needed to know the wisdom. How can you teach a son all this great wisdom and what he should be looking for in a woman, but then you don't teach the woman to be this according to her form? You see the confusion that they have done with the mistranslations. I've already showed y'all my pictographs, put the little knowledge through, so those who already understand, let them understand. God, this is her God. She forsakes it and don't want to listen to it, don't want to pick it up. Could care less to the riches of what she really got. Listening to tongues of men is why she's not. Why the women refuse to? Because they don't know. And the men were supposed to give them this knowledge to know this. But however, I'm still not going to say that y'all wrong, because everybody gets to seek for themselves and notice something ain't right and go to the Most High. She a human just like you are, okay? So I'm not going to go hard on y'all about that. But yeah, it's it's what it is. Everybody still got to find their own way and have that wanting to know God. For her house incline unto death, and her paths unto the dead. None that go unto her return again, neither take thy hold of her path of the paths of life. Why? Because she doesn't have this. She doesn't obey her covenant. She's wisdom. She had agreement. Women know. So if she doesn't have this, her in her own form, and being in her form, she's in the opposite of what the oppressor told her. This independent mind state that she came from, what I guess him. So she doesn't know her God. She doesn't remember her covenant. She haven't picked it back up, and some ain't gonna never find that and come back to them. They're gonna be lost off the ways of the world, and it's sad because it's so much riches you can get from this. They'll just be going off their body along and what every man telling them and what pastor telling them and what anything, and they'll never get this pure, holy wisdom that's for them. All right, men will not get this understanding and wisdom, and not be caught in the snare of the harlots, the women that don't understand this of the covenant. You see how this is no way around it, how the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, Mother Wisdom, have all made it where it's no way out of the snares. Like, unless you go through the straight way, at least you go through the pathway given for man and woman. Sad. That thou mayest walk in the way of good men and keep the paths of righteousness. For the upright shall dwell in the land, and the perfect shall remain in it. But the wicked shall be cut off from the earth, and the transgressor shall be rooted out of it. Alright, so that was just chapter 2. I did a little bit of chapter 1, verse 20 through 33 when I started, because in my thing that I got, my translation, my other documents, it kind of go together, but I'm trying to stick to the ways in the King James versions that we all got too. So I just did that, and I did chapter 2, which will be 1 through 22 in the King James version. Now I'm going to do my translation versions of the construct decoding of Proverbs. Benefits of seeking wisdom is what it says. My children, if you receive my words and store up my commands within you, by making your ear attentive to wisdom, and by turning your heart to understanding. Indeed, if you call out for discernment, raise your voice for understanding. Hold on. Sorry, guys. All right. I'm going to say this again. Sorry. I'm going to just start back at 2:2. Okay. Indeed, if you call out for discernment, raise your voice for understanding. If you seek it like silver and search for it like hidden treasure, then you will understand how to fear the Most High, and you will discover knowledge about God. For the Most High gives wisdom, and from his mouth comes knowledge and understanding. He stores up effective counsel for the upright, and is like a shield for those who live with integrity, to guard the paths of righteousness and protect the ways of his peasant ones. Then you will understand righteousness and justice and equity, every good way. For wisdom will enter your heart, and more knowledge will be attracted to you. Discretion will protect you, understanding will guard you, to deliver you from the way of the wicked, from those speaking perversity, who leave the upright paths to walk on the dark ways, who delight in doing evil. They rejoice in perverse, whose paths are morally crooked, and who are devious of their ways, to deliver you from the adulteress, from the sexual loose woman who speak flattering words, who leaves the husband from her younger days and forgets her marriage covenant made before God. Didn't I just say that? Elaborate on that. For her house sinks down to death, and her paths lead to the place of departed spirits. None who go in her will return, nor will they reach the paths of life. So you will walk in the way of good people, and will keep on the paths of the righteousness. For the upright will reside in the land, and those with integrity will remain in it. But the wicked will be removed from the land, and the treacherous will be turned away from it. Now you see how Mother Wisdom, the Spirit, the ancient knowledge was so much clearer for her sons and her daughter. And she said, my children. Now with this mistranslated versions we have in our copies, the imagery makes it seems like Solomon or the Christian church or Catholic, his mother Bathsheba, was giving him all this knowledge and wisdom and understanding. Or it makes it seem like the adulteress woman and her son has become the depiction of the example. That's what has happened because of how they chose to write the words and symbolize it. And that's why I'm here, brothers and sisters, to put it back in context for the children, to get its simplicity and understand the Spirit Mother only talks directly with understanding and with sound wisdom. Okay, all this in the Bibles, you can see it, you can't understand it, but now do y'all understand why it's so hard for the world to understand this book? Because they don't have the Spirit. If you definitely don't have Spirit, it's going to be confusion. I was there before. It's in confusion of codes. It is. You have to figure out, and some lines supposed to be before the others, or some knowledge words supposed to be before when you're dealing with the construct of knowledge. So that is why it may seem like, and then they give you the images of the harlot, the adulteress and her son being the example. But no. It doesn't give it cut clear so you can understand past that. And I hope with me just giving it to you more depth like that, but in a sophisticated form that you just understand like, oh, okay. Meaning just literally, okay, you go into an adulteress, a woman, you know what I'm saying? Or when we get on adulterer, okay, her whole goal and motive, the reason why he doesn't find a path is because she flatters with tongues. She finds out everything that you like, somewhat. More attentive into knowing everything. I would say that you think of a woman is like. Okay, she gonna already try to figure out what your mindset or what you think a woman is. And she's gonna go off of what's that, because guess what? That's in your mind of what you feel like a woman is, right? So, just giving you examples. I'm not gonna give y'all the secrets now. Man, bruh. It really makes me mad because I wouldn't want to be a son of men. I wouldn't want, and then you don't want to be me in this form either, because it's dead. Because, you know, see where I'm at in it? So, I'm going to be in the middle regardless. Is that, but this is the ways, and it was the older woman. See, the older woman got you looking at the younger version, the Mary symbolization, as the bad one. And then they got you looking at Mary Magdalene, the supposed repentant harlot, or whatever they want to call, or some of them say she had a baby and a child. Want you to look at that one's the depicted. Okay? But Christ said this record straight about who is wisdom, who is his spirit, who is his from the beginning. But it's hard because you see all these doctrines and images, a plan of who really was the one and who wasn't. Catholics, they're wrong for that. But that's, hey, all things will be revealed. But I hope I gave it to you clear. It's not the younger woman. It's the older women that you will probably have to pay more attention to. Not saying young women don't do stuff. But what I'm telling you, the depiction of adulteress in the translation of the original is an older type of woman. The younger woman is your woman from your youth. When you marry your youth, y'all grow together, y'all get that one covenant type of the one you had in high school, or one you can look back on. You know that was your wife of your youth. It was always gonna be a young woman, which is considered the virgin. But then the older woman, okay, these are ways that people don't pay attention. But guess what? Because they look at their ages. They look at their age of flesh, of they've been grown, living longer. So then some of these women be around your boys, little boys, and all that. Just like Jada with this 28-year-old little guy that sing August, which is from New Orleans, Louisiana. So I know, brother, how we grew up, what our customs, our culture, like, you know what I'm saying, how we real about things of expressing. That was totally wrong. But I seen just a few women bringing out the wisdom, like, this is a whole predator. But y'all don't get on her. But I seen D.L. Hughes was saying the same concept too. Y'all don't get on the older women that do that type of stuff. It's kind of really nonchalant. You not hearing more about that. Y'all just think it's like, okay. But let it be a woman that, you know what I'm saying, of a young girl or something, slept with an older man, wife or something, or the woman and the man, the wife and the husband will be getting on her. She'll be exploited, whether she knew or not. But when it comes to those cases like that, why? Because the world made y'all not look at that. The harlot, the adulteress, they cheat on they men or their youth too. They had a covenant with God. They husbands and stuff, they do this. And half of y'all probably sleeping with lesbians right now. I'm just sorry, being honest. This how ways they go. You don't know until you understand this word and this way that Mother Wisdom giving you. You will never understand the word itself, everything from all the books, from everything that exists in life. You will not understand if you're not rooted in wisdom first. Understanding. Know that woman, yourself, she is himself, meaning pulled out of you, yourself. You need to understand it. You need to know what was the good of it and bad, because the woman took of the fruit first. Okay? I'm not trying to preach. I'm just trying to express that I really, really want y'all to start listening to the wisdom and understanding and applying it, seeing in life, looking at these examples, not being sweared off the image of, oh, she beautiful. Oh, they a good couple, man. I like. No. That ain't right what you did, Jada. I mean, if she here, she here. That's not right. Because that young man has a wife. Do you not understand? He's looking for one. He doesn't understand. He doesn't understand what he's feeling. He wants somebody, but he's out here doing all these things. He's in the life, right? So he done came across women I'm sure he could have picked of his youth. So I'm not getting him off either, because I'm sure you done ran across one your age you could. But you went over there to taking something way ahead. Now you broken. Because why? You did not find a wife of your youth. That wife of your youth is going to help you develop and grow just like you need to. She need to too. Alright? I've been there before. I've been with an older man. I'm not with one. I didn't marry one. Okay? So at the end of the day, I understand by experience too. I'm not just sitting here talking on my tongue, y'all, and I'm just using their realizing and not had my own experience. I have. So at the end of the day, if you find the woman of your youth, which she's out there. See, before you come to this earth, like I told you, the marriage of the soul, you have a soulmate. All those love songs you talk about, I want to find me a soulmate. I love this girl. Y'all be out in y'all motion with it. It's one for you. But when you submit to the word and you seek understanding, wisdom, and you get the Holy Spirit and you pray and you seek the Most High, it's going to be something like an incident. You may get people thinking superstitions, that it's superstitions that they met someone. No, that's not superstitions that you just outside met someone. It's not witchcraft. Things happen for a reason. The Spirit move you toward past for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So then you be like, dang, Next thing you know, you done repented, you got up in truth, and you doing, and now you done found someone for your youth. Ask, and the Most High will give you. But you got to be genuine, you got to be sincere about it. But yes, no, young brother, you got to be out your sin too. You must have been dealing with stuff. You know, you was a little in the R&B, you was having sex, multiple women, and doing these things. Then you ran into something that was above, that was married. But the only reason how she can be doing that and got you deceived on them levels, because she already have experience. She's married. But she's wrong because she's not supposed to do that. No matter if you knew your husband's going to forgive you or not, you going to still be judged by God. Will and Jada would still be judged by God for the ways of their marriage. Because you heard it, that was somebody's soul. Although he was doing that, he got taken, right? So you can't get taken by at least in sin. But at the end of the day, it's still a judgment for all souls. It's still going to be a balanced way. You did not have the right to go out your covenant. You were already married. See, the only thing that's sparing him, and he can if he listens to, go find a woman of your youth and marry. And run away and flee from the wickedness of adultery and fornication. And go find that one. I know it's going to be hard. I know your heart is breaking. Because these adulteresses, like it says, she destroys a man. It destroys his soul. See, men are not like women. Okay? They can't handle heartbreak. They can't handle emotional trauma of spiritual, because they're not the spiritual beings. They have the spirit too, but we are the form. We are in it. So they don't handle things like we can handle. We probably had about 5 heartbreaks in our life where we feel like we get out and we rejuvenate ourselves. We heal ourselves. Men are, no, they're not like that. They need the healing spirit. They need those things to heal themselves. They need love of a woman. It is a need. It's not a want that they want to love a woman. No, they need that. That's what they crown for. That is their name. They have to, because that's what the Holy Spirit was set a purpose for the Most High. You see what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, they need that. And y'all know that, but you cannot use that against them. That's wrong. So at the end of the day, brother, you can get yourself back healed and repaired through mother wisdom, understanding, learning from this lesson. Find a beautiful spirited woman. Don't go seeking on your own. You have to go through the word, just like any woman got to go through the word to get this. Alright? But you had one before in the beginning. Everybody have. Okay? Before you come in flesh. Sometimes it's deeper to a complex that we'll see that plays out. But at the end of the day, you have someone. It is someone out there for you. Don't give up. All men are not the same and all women are not the same. Contrary to these world perspectives, that's not true. And if you're thinking like that, you are going to fall and come a victim to being a persecutor or a scorner or a harlot or adulterer or wicked because of your ways of thinking. It starts in your mind, then you start acting like it when you take up that fruit, and then now you're walking like it. Okay, so just letting that example be played, because they got lots and lots of millions of views. It was on YouTube, it was on Facebook, it was all going on. I think just before quarantine or through quarantine or whatever, through this COVID stuff that's been going on. So at the end of the day, I just sat back and I'm like, all right. But I did put it back in my memory, like, whenever I saw my channel, I have to throw that out and say about that situation. It was kind of, like I said, it doesn't matter if y'all forgive each other and continue to do that, but you will be judged by your marriage, because at the end of the day, that's not the real marriage. The real marriage, they never cheat. It's faithful. His soul is joined to the Holy Spirit. It is on accord. It is agreements, and it's no unloyalty, none of that treacherous stuff. It's none of that. It's full obedience to the word, both. And you shouldn't go out your covenant, because you just heard it that young. Who knows if he'll ever shake back? Who knows if he have shake back? But I know he fell into a deep depression. He explains himself of everything he going through because he knows he never could have her. And now, I hope his soul ain't too gone long, because the word do tell you right here, though, none who go in her will return, nor will they reach the paths of life. So I hate it for y'all. This is very important, more for the sons of men, because the women, oh, they gonna get theirs at the end. They gonna get their judgment. The ones that want to walk like this and casting them down, they gonna get it. Don't get it wrong. But the only reason why they spare is because the Most High used them for judgment. He set the balances up like that. I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? Who knows this depth or why? But he created women. He created us, so I don't know. He set it up to be like that. And so he allows these women to do this for a long time period of time. And how long? It's going to take the young men before it take the a young woman maybe. Or whatever, because she's the form. Women are wisdom. They're the form. So that's what makes it a little bit more not, you know. And then we already know 2 lesbians can't make no baby, and neither is no motion there. That's all flesh and mind. So at the end of the day, okay, yeah, they can get taken by her too, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I never been in no darkness that much like that. I don't know. I just don't know how much is wickedness in the guy. But the word tell me though. Now I ain't went into all that because that's, like I said, if you want a pathway, how can you? You know what I'm saying? I made my choices. I've been fighting on my moral ground. So I don't know. But the word tell me how deep the evil side goes. So I guess I gotta believe what the word say or how far it goes in this type of stuff. Some I may experience, some I may not know nothing about. Some of this I know nothing about how it gets on those levels, because I just never had the heart to just plot evil and do evil and go get the lurking and doing all other stuff. You know, bad, fight back. You know, maybe me, but I really can't tell y'all. Only y'all gonna have to go talk to the real harlots, the real street girls, the real strippers, the real down in these depths. Go talk to them, I guess. They be in your family. They're your sisters, your nieces, or whatever. I'm sure you know one. They'll understand. But I'm calling out y'all to please repent, ladies, and come back to your covenant. And I know you're going to say, oh, shy, we know, but we just having too fun destroying these men. Okay. Because I've heard it. I heard it. They're bitter. They're scorned. Can I blame them? No, but they will have a judgment. I mean, we going to have to judge them. But I understand, because I understand what happens to that emotion if it's, like I said, if you ain't got this word, you ain't read it, it's going to really, some things, it's going to hurt. And some ladies like, you know what, forget that. I'm playing get back. I ain't finna do it. I understand the curse of Eve. I'm in this body. I understand what you're talking about. But it still don't make it right. Still don't make it right. 2 wrongs don't make it right. Especially with men. She hurt you. Your heart broken. She done went and missed this dude. You don't do that. Don't do it. I know it's hurtful. Don't do it. Don't do it. Just, like I said, the word will heal you. The spirit of wisdom will revive you. You would no longer remember those painful things and painful moments and encounters that you've been with and all that. You're going to have a new life, and you'll have that light, okay? So, y'all be okay, alright? So, I'm going to just say the construct knowledge part. I'm going to end off here, which breaking down the construct knowledge of just chapter 2. I'm already with 1 hour and 38 seconds, and guys, I am hungry, and I just couldn't wait to do this one though, so I can just eat or whatever. But I wanted to go ahead and get this out for my thing today that I told y'all. But the construct knowledge, the high-pled infinitive construct of to deliver expresses the purpose of understanding right conduct. To protect a person from the wicked. The verb means to save, to deliver, to rescue, as in snatching away prey from an animal, rescuing from enemies, plucking abroad from the fire, retrieving property or the like. Here it portrays rescues from the course of an action of the wicked. The term wicked means bad, harmful, painful, rather than referring to the abstract concept of wickedness in general. The term probably refers to wicked people because of the parallelism with those speaking perversity. Hebrew, man. The singular noun ish means man. Here will be further defined with plural forms. Verb, noun, and suffixes. So the similar functions in a collective sense, which is rendered in a plural sense in the translation for the sake of clarification and smoothness. Quote, harmless as doves. Hebrew, perversities. The plural form of taplak may denote a plurality of number perverse things or intensification, awful perversion, as here it often refers to perverse speech. Proverbs 8:13, Proverbs 10:31, Proverbs 32, Proverbs 23:33. It is related to the noun contrary, perverse, which refers to what is contrary to morality. Isaiah 29:16, Ezekiel 16:34, BDB 246. The related verb to turn or overturn, literally of turning things over, tipping over a bowl. 2 Kings 21:13. And turning over bread cakes. Judges 7:13, Hosea 7:8. And figuratively of perverting things so that they are morally upside down, so to speak. Jeremiah 23:36. These people speak what is contrary to morality, wisdom, sense, logic, or the truth. The noun in this relative clause is an accusative, a specification. The evil people are twisted with respect to their paths, conduct. Hebrew, strange woman, the loose woman, the root. To be a stranger sometimes refers to people who are actively foreign to Israel. Isaiah 1:7, Hosea 7:9, and Hosea 8:7. But it often refers to what is morally estranged from God or his covenant people. Psalms 58:4, Psalms 78:30, referring to a woman. It means adulteress or prostitute. Proverbs 2:16, 5:3, Proverbs 20, Proverbs 7:5, Proverbs 22:14, and Proverbs 23:33. It does not mean that she is a foreigner, but that she is estranged from the community with its social and religious values. Note, Mother Wisdom daughters are not strange women, but peculiar women. Not alien women, but Holy Spirited women. Usually to the world, they are morally right, not religious right. Alright, here, an Israelite woman is in view because her marriage is called a covenant with God. Yet she is an adulteress acting outside of legal bounds of the marriage contract. The description of the woman as a strange woman and now an alien woman is within the context of the people of Israel. She is a foreigner in the sense that she is a nonconformist, wayward, and loose. It does not necessarily mean that she is not ethnically an Israelite. Though BDP notes that most harlots in Israel were originally chiefly foreigners by reason of their otherwise homeless condition. So I hope that I clarified and edified and gave you some distinctions, even using myself as a woman, These women, like I said, mother wisdom daughters are not, where I'm at, are not strange women, but peculiar. I already went over the dissensions between peculiar and strange. They look the same, don't they? It seems the same, but it's not. There is a differentiation of womankind. Not an alien woman, but she is a high-spirited, Holy Spirited woman. Usually to the world, there are morally right up women, righteous, stand on values, standards. Some people may call them too high standard. Okay? But again, when I'm saying this out my mouth, guys, you still got to pay attention to the spirit, because some are really good with their actions, their words. It can go deep. But they're not religious right. Whatever they pastor the men tell them to do, that's what they do. They're more of a religious spirit, Jezebel, more of holding something of nothing that's not morality or value, no integrity. It's everything is about doing what they, they do what everybody tell them to do. That's why I said, men of wisdom do not need a submissive woman. You need a balance. But men that already know this or who they are understand this. Because a man with understanding will draw it out. Learn, increase, know. I've already went over that inside of my pictograph. So it's already should be understood. If you don't got to understand it, then I don't know. You need to seek and ask for the Holy Spirit. You need to seek more answers if things are not clear from my tongue, or you're not understanding, or it just makes or my image of a woman just really, really disturb your spirit right now, and you can't get with it because it's just coming from a feminine gender part. It doesn't sit right with you. I'm sorry, I've already proved the facts about the Holy Spirit. Men have proven the facts. Women have proven the facts. The body is all over the world, and it's going to come to one head and one like an understanding. So the truth has been put out here. So if you're not receiving it and perceiving it, you need to go check yourself maybe. But I'm not changing any form of my doctrine, which is mother wisdom instruction and my father's law. The master masculinity that created us all, created me too, because I am a living being in his soul. I'm here, I'm talking, so I live in this world just like you. So at the end of the day, I deserve the care, I deserve respect, and I deserve love just like you or anybody else. And I'm sorry if my intelligence makes you feel threatened because of what I know and what I understand by myself, and I don't have to have nobody just fully teach me. Yet I love the teachings from the Son of Men. I watch them, I listen. I don't have no problem with that. But I have my own mind of what I know to be true, and not just me, because I have people like mine too. This is a body assembly, and he is over the head, so all his children are going to be on one accord with mind and spirit. I could be saying something true, they could be saying something true, but it's in two different ways, or you're receiving it two different ways. Because I'm a woman, I'm not going to talk it like a man. I ain't going to say it like they would say it. I'm going to say it how I know to say it. So at the end of the day, it's still going to correspond. But again, note that too, that here an Israelite woman is viewed because her marriage. Some of them saying that Israelites women don't have the blood, spirit, or the mind of God, but they're in this flesh is melanin, okay? Some of them would be considered they have a covenant with God because they have a flesh husband. Just because you have a husband in the flesh or a wife in the flesh, but I'm on a particular one right now, y'all, but I can explain the other part. But y'all probably already know that. See, it's okay because man got understanding. We come from men, so I know why it's more acceptable for men to understand my speech or understand the understanding than it's for women. And they're the form. I never got that. Why? When they're the form. But I'm understanding a lot more. I'm growing, and I'm understanding the ways of woman a lot more better now. But yeah, she will be calling herself an Israelite because she's married to a black man or a brother or in one of the tribes. So she's going to be she's looking at, and it's saying, don't look at the image of her being married with her flesh. But It's called a covenant with God. So y'all gonna call maybe this false one, because she got a husband or whatever, she has a covenant with God. Okay? Because her marriage is called a covenant of God. Yet she is an adulteress, acting outside the legal bounds of the marriage contract. Meaning she and you know, some husbands go along with this. They don't even say nothing about their wife doing this stuff. Y'all know that, right? So at the end of the day, he'll sit up there and prop up with her and be like, and play that image. We already seen with Will and Jada. That was just one example. Oh, they're gonna play that image like, okay, yeah, I mean, my wife is this and that, and they're gonna, you know what I'm saying? That's okay. Yeah, but, you know, to be discreet, we don't want to say, I understand. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's going to be a divide. And some of these women are adulterers that has husbands. And they know they are. It's okay if you don't want to shame your woman, you don't want to put it out. That's okay. But know what the fruit thereof and what you're going to continue to get yourself in. And guess what? Are you going to find the pathways of life at the end if it don't destroy you? And some of them have been destroyed. I done sit and watch this happen. Die by the hands you being fed, what you living for. That's not right according to scripture. That's not a woman that fears the Most High. So guess what? Why are you still with that woman? Why are you still laying with that woman? Oh, for children? You gonna make it everything of excuse? To me, I already told mine, if I ever catch, that's the deal breaker to me. I feel like adultery is the deal breaker for me. It was a deal breaker for me before I even got legally contracted married. It was something I could not accept. My boyfriend did. I left. One of my boyfriends slept with my best friend. A woman. I didn't never talk to her again. To this day, I never talk to you. Hey, y'all. Y'all know who y'all are. Never talked to him again. I was hurt. Because I trusted her and him. Guess what? Both of them got cut off at the same time. Done. And that's when I was in the world. I was pissed off. Even wanted to go beat her head in. But I said, you know what? It ain't even worth it. You can have it. You good? That's all right. After I took them out, had a good time, paid for everything, we all was cool. I done been there, so I know what it is. But that's okay. But at the end of the day, the Most High had to say so at the end of the day. But know what you're walking in. Know what's going to happen to you. Know if that's not, your marriage is going to be judged by God. You can't just get away because of the covenant of the agreement that we all should have with one another, of documents. But that don't go before the blood covenant. That doesn't go before the commandments. That doesn't go before anything in the spiritual, okay? The spiritual laws that are above all this stuff that we see in the world containing to the law and land or anything or how we deal with it, okay? So, but the description of the woman as a strange woman is now an alien woman. Is within the context of the people of Israel. Now, that's the concept when you're plagiarizing how Israel has gone into captivity, has become foreign, has become Asian, don't nobody know who they are, you know, and stuff like that as a whole. She is a foreigner in the sense that she is a non-confined. So, Judah has sinned. Tribe of Judah, the nations have sinned, the whole earth has sinned. They have became, she is non-conformist, wayward and loose. Now they have become laylos and loose, harlots, prostitutes, sodomites, all these things. It does not necessarily mean that she is not ethnically an Israelite. Does not mean that she is not from the tribe of Judah, bloodline, spirit, and mind, with the covenant of her God. Through BDB notes that most harlots in Israel's was originally chiefly foreigners by reason of their otherwise homeless condition. Yes, some strangers we took into the land, things like this. Some women was homeless, strangers of another tribe or something like that when they needed it. So that's just a simple understanding of things, guys. I hope and check out the reality entertainment on YouTube. The murder of Mary Magdalene, genocide of the Holy Bloodline. I'm sorry, I got my daughter here. I gotta get her break. Okay, come on. So we're gonna go take a little dinner. It's 5:37 p.m. outside, and it is raining bad, y'all. It's raining bad outside right now. Shout out to all the brothers and sisters in the camps, all the truth seekers, all the people that's in the body, in the truth, some that's coming in as I speak, some that has already been in. Shout out to y'all, and I hope that y'all take heed to wisdom. I hope this video was very informative to you, and I hope to talk with y'all and speak with y'all. Know that the time is near. I'm going to cherish every moment that I get each time of the day to keep bringing y'all a chapter today into the Most High willing to call me. But this is where I will be at. This is where I'm at. I hope to meet some of you guys in person. I've reached out through some emails. Hopefully I'll get a response or two. Just really want to see if this is what you want, or this is what you want to, I would say, imitate. Or is it something that's really true from your heart, or what you really are, my brothers and sisters? If so, I'm bagging you up 100%. If not, if you leave me in the fire, you leave me in the burner, and I'm just me and one. I do believe the Most High, I am, will be the one at the end to deliver us all. He is the Alpha and Omega of all. And he goes by many titles, many labels, and many names. But however, he is the God over all, the God of the Hebrews, then the Jews. Thank you. Have a blessed day, y'all.